Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into some really important, maybe challenging, but ultimately empowering stuff. We're looking at navigating mental health, both for ourselves and when we're trying to support people we care about. We've got two key guides here, Stop Walking on Eggshells, which focuses on BPD, and then the Anxiety and Phobia Workbook by Edmund Bourne. Our goal really is to pull out some practical strategies, things you can actually use for, empowerment and building resilience. Okay, so let's jump into the first one. Stop walking on eggshells. This is mainly for family, friends, partners, people close to someone diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, BPD, and it tackles that feeling, that experience of, literally feeling like you're walking on eggshells. Because of the intense emotions, the shifts in behavior, sometimes rages or actions that seem irrational, it can be really confusing, even feel manipulative sometimes.
It really can. And, what the book does well is validate those feelings. It says, yes, this is confusing, it's painful, but then it explains why these BPD behaviors might be happening. Often they're described as coping mechanisms, ways of dealing with really deep pain rather than, a deliberate plan to hurt others.
Yeah.
But that brings up a huge question, doesn't it? How do you support someone going through that while also protecting your own sanity, your own well-being, without just abandoning them?
Exactly. That's the tightrope walk. Because setting boundaries sounds straightforward, maybe. But when you're in it, it can feel, harsh, or you feel incredibly guilty. What Eggshells does, I think quite brilliantly, is reframe that. Setting boundaries isn't about punishment. It's often about self-preservation, about creating a healthier dynamic for you. It helps you see the guilt maybe as a conditioned response, not like a moral failing.
Right. It empowers you, the loved one, by helping you recognize the patterns, the BPD behaviors, for what they are, often symptoms. This understanding can, hopefully, lessen your own emotional reaction. You're less likely to get pulled into the storm. And that space allows you to think about your own needs, assert them clearly, calmly, consistently. It really shifts the focus to what you can control, your responses, your boundaries. That brings stability.
Okay, so that's about navigating the challenges when supporting someone else. Now, let's switch gears. What if the challenge is more internal, your own anxiety? That brings us to our second source, the Anxiety and Phobia Workbook. This one turns the lens inward. It's a really comprehensive guide, lots of practical exercises for managing anxiety, panic, phobias.
Yeah, it's very action-oriented. It provides, evidence-based techniques, things you can actually do. It starts with the basics, like deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation ways to calm the physical symptoms quickly. Get grounded. But then it goes deeper into cognitive behavioral strategies. So looking at your thoughts, how to challenge that catastrophic thinking, that tendency to jump to the worst case scenario, how to change negative self-talk.
And a big part is exposure therapy, right? That idea of gradually facing the things you fear, which sounds terrifying, frankly.
It can sound terrifying, absolutely. But the principle is solid. It's about teaching your brain, slowly and safely, that the feared situation or feeling isn't actually dangerous. You learn through experience that you can handle it. Your brain learns the fear signal was maybe a false alarm, or at least exaggerated. This leads to ideally lasting change. It's about disconfirming those anxious predictions.
So it's really about giving you the tools, the skills to regain a sense of control over the anxiety, to improve your life quality.
Exactly. It puts the power back in your hands.
Looking at both these deep dives, despite the different contexts supporting someone with BPD versus managing personal anxiety, there's a common thread, isn't there? It's this idea of proactive empowerment, taking control where you actually can.
Absolutely. Whether it's learning to set those essential boundaries with a loved one, which takes courage, or applying these practical techniques to manage your own anxiety and fears, the core message seems to be that knowledge, understanding, and having the right tools, they really can help you find or reclaim a sense of stability and agency.
So here's something to think about, maybe a provocative thought for you listening. What's one small, maybe consistent step you could take this week, inspired by either of these approaches? Just one small thing to apply one of these principles, setting a boundary, trying a breathing exercise, challenging one anxious thought, moving towards a bit more peace, a bit more control in your own life.
This video is presented by International Psychology Association. Follow us for more psychology updates.